Yes, yes. Now everyone knows that family nickname. You guys are not allowed to use that. That's strictly family. Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as, like intimacy of, talking heart to
Mm-hmm.
heart with a family member. Even if you just sit and don't say anything, if that beloved
Mm-hmm.
person loves you and knows you, they know already how to deal with you. Yeah, you cannot just do it alone. It's really
Mm-hmm.
impossible. It's really impossible to do it alone. If some people can really do it alone, I don't think so that they're really alone. For sure, even
Mm-hmm.
not a physical person, maybe the help of the internet. So it's still,
Yeah.
you get what I mean. So
Hi guys, it's Yun and welcome to episode 12 of Toxic Talks. And today I'm with a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
hi everyone, hi Eunice, hi to all the viewers of Toxic Talks by Eun Pedralvez. So I hope that you will have a great time all throughout this session. So my name is Leah, Leah Portia. That's my first name. It was given to me by my beloved aunt, who's, by the way, Eunice's mom. So my name is Leah, and I've been working for already the past 18 years, and I would like to share my experiences regarding the special topic for today. So Eunice will expound it naman later. So hope everybody will enjoy.
Yeah, great. Anyway, before we continue, I'd like to say a disclaimer. What we share in this discussion does not reflect the organizations or people we will address. It may only be our personal experiences and opinions. Now, my Ate Leia mentioned that we are relatives, so she is my cousin. So we can talk a little bit about our relationship. So Ate, is there something you want to share? Like a memory of mine?
Of course, tell
Anything?
me about it, Eunice. There's a lot of memories I can share with all your viewers, your friends, and even our family members who for sure will be watching this video or this episode.
Mhm.
So basically, Eunice, as what she has mentioned, she's my dearest cousin. So Eunice's mom is my aunt, my dearly beloved aunt, as what I have mentioned a while ago. So Tita Ronnie is my aunt, as I have mentioned. So Eunice's mom. So Eunice, I've spent time with her when I first arrived in UAE way back
Mhm.
2004. So Eunice was, I think, around, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 years old that time. She was really
Mhm.
small. And I didn't work immediately when I arrived at UAE. So I was the one taking care of her and Jairi on the side along with our Tito Tiny. So fondest memory, of course, the very fond memory of her is I call her Unique Nick Bunik Nick, the Miss Princess Bubblegum. Why? She always asks me, Ate, can you come with me to buy at the small store, buy me a bugum? And then, of course, I will say, of course, sure, because that's how I love Eunice and at the same time treat her as my small sister. So that's
Mhm.
one fond memory talaga that I will never forget, Eunice. So until now, I still call her Unique Nick, Bunik Nick, Bunik Nick. That's that long, and Princess Bagam.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. Now everyone knows that family nickname. You guys are not allowed to use that. That's strictly family. But yeah, I was like thinking, oh, I feel like I was like thinking that you're gonna use that as the memory. I was like, yeah, she's gonna use that. Of course, she's gonna use.
Of course, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Definitely. Top of the list. So that's why I was
Mhm.
telling a while ago. Memories for sure, there's really a lot, like a lot. But
Mhm.
fondest one, of course, was that first time nga that I have mentioned when I arrived
Mhm.
sa UAE. And of course,
Yes.
your family hosted our stay there for, I think,
Mhm.
8 months. And I've
Mhm.
got the chance to at least, like play with you, take care of you and your brother, Jaime. Yun. So,
Yeah.
very memorable talaga.
Yeah. And I'd share is that I always enjoyed like when you were working na, you would always like if may bagong sweldo ka, you would like bring us, oh, I just received my salary, let's go and eat Pizza Hut or let's eat at, like it'll always be like that. And I remember
Yeah.
like Kuya would always request pepperoni, stuff like that. And of course
With
our
the hot
family,
sauce.
Hot sauce, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, he
Yeah.
learned that from you.
Oh my God, that's what he's always telling. It's your fault. It's your fault. That's why I'm fond of eating hot sauce. Not even eating,
Yeah.
by the way, just for your information, viewers, Jairi, Yoon's brother, he
Mm-hmm.
he he opens like one small bottle of hot sauce and can literally like finish drinking it like I don't know,
Yeah.
2 minutes or less than a minute.
Right.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
tells that
He
it's
treat
because of me.
yun kasi yun. Anyway, guys, so if we're gonna just talk about family, ate and I can go on and on, but that is not today's topic. So as my
Yeah.
ate mentioned, she has worked for 18 years, and that's exactly what we're gonna talk about, is that her experience and what it was toxic for her, like the toxic experiences while she was working. So ate, my first question is that what is toxicity for you?
Well, toxicity for me is from the root word toxic. So when you say
Mm-hmm.
something is toxic, for me it's harmful. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
toxicity for me in a general perspective is something that is collaboratively acquired feeling over
Mm-hmm.
not a single day that happened. So collectively meaning not one day, one week. So
Mm-hmm.
series of not so good feelings out of not so good events or unfortunate events
Mm-hmm.
that led you to feel that way, that you're unhappy, that you are not satisfied with yourself and with the people around you, or maybe the situation that you are in. So
Mm-hmm.
that's toxicity for me. Like you don't have the energy, you feel very lethargic, you don't have the drive
Mm-hmm.
to continue on something that is important, basically like
Mm-hmm.
important thing that we should really be doing, especially for example for this topic like work. So something
Mm-hmm.
that stops you from being productive. So yeah, that's toxicity for me.
Wow, and I totally agree with that. And now, since we're going to talk about work as well, what is work in your own words?
Oh, work for me is an opportunity to
Hmm.
share your acquired knowledge, skills,
Mm-hmm.
because not all knowledge and skills we get only from school. So we get also
Mm-hmm.
experiences and we get also knowledge from family, from friends, outside school, wherever we are. Every day is a new learning for us naman, and no matter where we are. So collectively, those
Mm-hmm.
experiences, we are hired out of those
Mm-hmm.
experiences plus the charisma that we have for a particular work, for a
Mm-hmm.
particular work that we have applied for, of course, because most of the work naman that we will be having or we applied for it. But sometimes some people are lucky, work just falls on their lap, so lucky for them.
Mm-hmm.
So but most of the time, like on my case, I apply for jobs. So it's to
Mm-hmm.
share and to share your knowledge and expertise on a particular company or institution, and plus factor, of course they're going to pay you. And work itself, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, it's for me it's accountability. You have to be accountable, you have to be responsible, and at the same time that you have to deliver output, because a company or an institution that will hire you, of course, expects good or
Mm-hmm.
excellent output from you. So and then you get paid.
Yeah, that is
That's the
right.
best part, of course, you get paid.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, you described toxicity and work. So, what exactly is toxicity and work in the environment? Like, what is toxic about a work environment?
All right. So combine toxicity and work.
Mm-hmm.
So plus factor, of course, is like what I have mentioned. You get paid, but of course, even
Mm-hmm.
if you get paid, even if you get the opportunity to explore your wings and get to meet new people, get to acquire new knowledge, of course, at work, and get to share what you know as well. Toxicity is very rampant. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
very common, unfortunately, in a work environment, even of course a professional work environment, workplace, because the more that we want to strive to do better, the more other people, unfortunately, most of the time, or sometimes that they get envy of you. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens is that personality, or depends on how people like see it. Like if they see you as a competition, toxicity, sorry, starts like when somebody gets envious of what you're doing with what your output is. So tendency that, you know, like they get jealous, so they put you down by gossips, and then it starts with gossip, and then sometimes it starts with gossip. Unfortunately, it ends with either resignation of either party, either yourself or that person who gets jealous of you within work. And as per my experience, honestly, Eunice, there was never a workplace that I have worked for or worked at na walang gossip. Gossip is really rampant, and at the same time, I don't want to say it's natural, but it's really happening, or is happening talaga sa work environment, because
Yeah.
sometimes some people, they tend to vent out or make it as their pastime to gossip about other people. So with that negativity, imagine that negativity when it's every day, or every time that they want to talk about somebody, that negative energy of course drives, you know, like other people to be negative as well towards that person. And unfortunately, that person, either she or he does good or doesn't do good, or is it true or not true, that person is pulled down. So my definition of toxicity in the workplace, that starts with gossips.
And that makes absolute sense. I'm remembering the times you would also like vent to Tita, and I remember how you had a hard time because there were people being envious of you, and I
Yes,
understand it
yes,
better now. Yeah. So
yes.
you were vaguely mentioning that you had experiences. So what are actual experiences you can share further about toxicity that you met with?
Okay. Apart from gossips, toxicity as well. Like, I believe that it starts from within as well. Like, for example, like what I have mentioned a while ago, it's not the person's fault. 100% if the gossip starts about that person, or about me, or about somebody else. But on a different perspective, I would like to give an example of toxicity within oneself. Why? It's how you see things. Because some people, we always say like this: why this person is very patient, why am I not patient, why this person seems to endure more the toxicity or the negativity on that particular department or office or institution or company, whereas there are some people who really cannot. So it just depends on how you perceive things. For me, I believe that it's how you see things. What's your priorities? What do you believe in? What's your purpose of working on that company, or in that institution? So if it starts from you, like what is my goal? All right, my goal is like to learn, and to share my knowledge, and at the same time gain new friends, and at the same time like explore other options possible while working on that company. So if that's your priority, lesser, I believe, will be the hassle of you minding those gossip mongers, or at the same time those negative energies, because some people are really focused. If you are someone who's like that, thumbs up, lucky for you, really. I'm happy for because as per my experience, there are also people whose drive are really very strong, that they can really endure. And there
Yes.
is other type naman, like for example, I don't know how to assess myself. I think I'm in between. So depends lang talaga how the level of toxicity is. So on the other hand nga, like opposite of the example a while ago, there are some people who cannot bear it talaga. Like for example, if the negativity or toxicity, they're very sensitive, and at the same time they cannot endure negative opinions about them. They cannot endure gossips. They cannot endure tons of workload. Then most of the time, those type of people, tendency, they really quit or resign in a span of short time. So toxicity as well, yeah. How you perceive it. For example, Eunice, like your boss or my boss, for example, gives me project after project, reports after reports. So it depends like how you will handle, though, how will you take in How will you take it? So
Mhm.
if you're a person who's not that good or not that talented in time management, for sure your
Mhm.
initial reaction will be projects after projects, reports after reports. Oh, it's toxic already. I cannot handle it
Mhm.
anymore. So the anxiety kicks in. So you get
Mhm.
anxious and then anxiety over work. Like for example, like in the
Mhm.
morning when you wake up, it's time for work. Like literally, like you have to drag yourself to the toilet, to shower, and then to dress
Mhm.
up, and then go to your office or go to work. So the feeling of you're not excited anymore because
Mhm.
you're already anxious of
Mhm.
what will happen within the day, and then your anxiety kicks in, like your tummy tends to ache and then
Mhm.
rumble, and at the same time you feel nauseous, you cannot breathe, because these are all collectively, I think, acquired, not as what I've said
Mhm.
earlier, not just a day. It's like
Mhm.
series of events, series of
Mhm.
situations that that person experienced on that particular department, on that particular set
Mhm.
of people that that person works for or works with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I and I also love the fact that you mentioned it also depends on perspective, because
Yes.
at times you could really like enjoy your work and be able to do your work despite it
Mhm.
may be toxic, but it's just how you deal with it. And I think
Mhm.
that's also something good for other people to also understand that maybe to another person it's not as toxic because it's individual experiences, and it also depends on their capacity. Although
Yes.
those who are sensitive doesn't mean they're weaker, it's just that they're a different person. So
Yes.
it's also very valid that, minsan di nila kaya compared to another person, and I don't
True.
think they should feel so bad about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So in those experiences when you're in that toxic environment, how do you cope with it?
All right. So coping strategy is very, very important because it's like dog eats dog kind of, like
Mm-hmm.
situation or world. And literally, if you don't cope or learn within yourself how to cope
Mm-hmm.
on a particular situation, on a toxic environment, you will really be eaten up. You will be swallowed
Yeah.
whole by people, by the process, by the system, by the environment,
Mm-hmm.
by everybody, by everyone. So start off first with have a clear perspective, like um, do I really still want to be in this company? Because ask yourself first, because maybe you're already really tired and toxicity really
Mm-hmm.
ate you already. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's not good already on your mental health to, for me, my opinion, like to still continue, even though the work pay is very good, but your mental
Mm-hmm.
health is being affected already. So you have to weigh in factors like
Mm-hmm.
am I happy, as what other people says,
Mm-hmm.
like happiness is a state of mind. Yes, it's a state of mind,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes the mind cannot control, like everything within our body or within
Yeah.
ourselves. So if you cannot breathe anymore, and at the same time you cannot handle it anymore, like imagining yourself working for that company, then better think of other options. But then again, if
Mm-hmm.
you still have that fighting chance and you feel that you still can, so this is my advice. So start
Mm-hmm.
with a coping mechanism is learn that work is not your life. It is part
Mm-hmm.
of your life, but it is not something that defines the whole of you. So
Mm-hmm.
learn that you have to be good at it, because honestly you're paid for it, and people are expecting good output from you. So but at the same time, imagine that it doesn't compose everything about you. So learn
Mm-hmm.
how to like learn how to compartment, like things within yourself, so that you won't be crammed, you won't feel cramped, you
Mm-hmm.
won't feel like that, like things or situation tends to like fill in inside of you, that you feel that you're already
Mm-hmm.
drowning. So learn to categorize, how to see things. Like for example, when you go to the office, like you start at 8:30, for example, or 9 o'clock, learn to time manage. When you time manage,
Mm-hmm.
it means that you will make the most out of your time. So you are
Mm-hmm.
coping, meaning that on a particular set of schedule that you have within the day, you have, the productive part of you, that whenever something negative will come in,
Mm-hmm.
because it's normal, as what I have said. You won't get misleaded, and you won't feel that you're
Mm-hmm.
useless, because even something gets in the way, you're still on top of things, you're still on top of everything. So learn
Mm-hmm.
how to time manage. That's how to cope up, because at the end of the day, negativity, toxicity, it's already there. It's very rampant, as what I kept on saying, is
Mm-hmm.
very rampant, it's very common. Something that honestly I shouldn't say like acceptable. For me, honestly, it's not
Mm-hmm.
acceptable because it's something negative,
Mm-hmm.
but we just have to learn to deal with it, and at the same time, don't
Mm-hmm.
eat us alive. So time manage, because that's how you will cope up. So if you work from 9 o'clock, let's say, to 11 o'clock, check your emails. So if like a coworker comes to you and then says something bad to you, like a gossip, or tells you like you don't do good, you are not progressing like how they expect you to be, just say that, thank you for your opinion, I would love to talk to you about it, I'll just finish
Mm-hmm.
my email and be with you in 10 minutes. So imagine,
Okay.
so that
Mm-hmm.
alone, you are on top of the situation. You don't let
Mm-hmm.
that toxic person eat you alive, or that toxic
Mm-hmm.
person sirain yung schedule mo, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So you will have
Yeah.
time for them, because they are your colleagues, or maybe yung toxic pala, unfortunately, baka boss mo eh. So of course,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot make like bastos with the tao, like because they
Mm-hmm.
approach you, they talk to you, even negative or positive, but still it's communication. So they communicate to you. So don't be, like bad by being like
Mm-hmm.
them. So just tell them, I'll be thank you for what you have mentioned and what you have said about me and my work. Let me get back to you in 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just finish this task. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So at least you're still on top of the situation. So that's something that I would like to share.
Yeah, so you would say that time management helped you cope because at least
Yes.
you knew when to respond to certain things, and even though it was toxic, you were focused. Like you previously mentioned that it perspective helps with how to deal with toxicity, because if you're focused on something, you don't get bothered by the toxicity that's happening around you because you know your goals. And I really like that. Really like how you said that. Now, regarding the toxicity though, so are there people that you believe should have helped you lessen the load of toxicity or should have made a change with it?
First and foremost, I think help for me starts off better, on my opinion, with family and friends. Why?
Mm,
Because as what I have mentioned, like for me, work is work. It's not my life.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
if I go home and then eat dinner with my partner, with my family,
mm-hmm,
so with them just talking to me, and at the same time listening to
mm-hmm,
whatever, like nice stories about work, or even not about work, if I decided not to talk about work, just like somebody close to me, like a family member, or a
mm-hmm,
good friend who listens, then at the same time, the pain within the day that I felt
mm-hmm,
because of the toxicity, it alleviates the feeling. You know that somebody
mm-hmm,
very important to you and close to you listens to you. So yeah, so
mm-hmm,
I think it's better and it's best if it's shared, or you open up with a family member, because they care about you first and foremost.
mm-hmm,
For sure, the opinions and the things that they will be sharing to you, they believe that of course it will be beneficial for you. So,
mm-hmm,
unlike, but it's not also like bad talking to random strangers and sharing things,
mm-hmm,
but it's
mm-hmm,
it's not the same as, like intimacy of, talking heart to
mm-hmm,
heart with a family member. Even if you just sit and don't say anything, if that beloved
mm-hmm,
person loves you and knows you, they know already how to deal with you. So, okay, may
mm-hmm,
pinagdadaanan si Leah or si Eunice. So, I
mm-hmm,
better don't say anything, but just make her feel that I'm here. Maybe a cup of
mm-hmm.
hot chocolate, whatever the favorite food of that person is. Like for, yeah. So, yeah, it's family and closest friends for me helps to at least alleviate, that feeling of toxicity, and help me at least like channel, like my
Mm-hmm.
other self, like not
Mm-hmm.
just work and toxicity at work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. So you would rather it's better for you to like ask for help outside of the situation and not necessarily inside, which I think is also a good thing. I didn't think of it that way because I was, sometimes I feel like the person who's best to help you is the one inside. But it's also good, like from an outside perspective, at least you're calming down. And I just remember how like you would often call my mom when you're like having
Yeah.
stress. Yeah, and
Now you
now
know.
I understand better as to why you do that. Like, because
Yes.
sometimes, personally for me, I'll be asking like, why doesn't she just like share it to a colleague or something like that? That was just my thoughts. But now I fully
Yes.
understand why you would go to somebody else outside of work, because you were separating them. You were like
Yes.
looking for healing outside of the place you were
Yes.
getting hurt from. So yeah, I like that perspective.
True,
Mm-hmm.
true. And by the way, I'm not saying like it's the same for everybody, because there are some
Mm-hmm.
people whose closest friends are also within the circle of their colleagues,
Mm-hmm.
like at work. So this is not for everybody, but this is based on my experience and maybe
Mm-hmm.
for some others as well. Because what happened to me, Eunice, if I may share just very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
I did that, like what you were thinking a while ago, that what you were expecting me
Mm-hmm.
to say, that, like
Mm-hmm.
change or improvement of the process or the situation should at least be shared or consulted with
Mm-hmm.
somebody from work. I did that, of course. I
Mm-hmm.
tried that. But unfortunately, it wasn't that good experience for me, because
Ah.
I've experienced not only once, not only twice. Like I've shared something to a colleague about
Mm-hmm.
my problems about work, like how toxic I feel. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
After 2 days, I'm already like front page of the gossip,
Ah.
like
I
stories
see.
within other departments as well. So it's spread already. And of course, like my boss, of course, thought of me like, okay, so you cannot talk to me straight. So why do you need to talk to others and just like talk to me
Mm-hmm.
straight? Because my boss before, he's British, and like I'm not saying all, but most Europeans and like people, non-Asians, they're not that sensitive. Honestly, you can
Mm-hmm.
go straight to them and talk to them and tell them
Mm-hmm.
anything under the sun, but just be precise. Unlike, for
Mm-hmm.
example, like Asian culture, we are known as, very empathetic and very sensitive. Most, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. But
Mm-hmm.
with Europeans, for example,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to, really be more open, and you just have to be straight to the point and don't beat around the
Mm-hmm.
bush, because they don't like that. They want you to be
Uh-huh.
straightforward. So that's what I have experienced. So learning from that situation, I also did. So after that, I did try, of
Mm-hmm.
course, opening to bosses, but
Mm-hmm.
it's filtered, Eunice, so it still
Mm-hmm.
has filter. You cannot be like
Yeah.
100%. So it also works, because the thing that
Mm-hmm.
you will change, actually, on a mature, quote and unquote, like workplace setup or
Mm-hmm.
environment, most of the time, personal feelings, or
Mm-hmm.
like sadness, your sadness or
Mm-hmm.
your problems, it's not their priority. So if it's not
Mm-hmm.
about work, or it's not details about work itself, so most of the people, they're not really interested, unless that,
Ah.
like unless that their personality is really like they love to talk about personal stuffs of people's lives, because they want to share it
Mm-hmm.
to others. So yeah, so that's why my answer to your question a while ago, if there was any change, or like to help the situation of,
Mm-hmm.
to remove or to alleviate
Mm-hmm.
toxicity of what you feel at work. Yeah, it's still
Mm-hmm.
best to talk to family or loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
or anybody
Mm-hmm.
like close to your heart who really knows you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, I'll keep that in mind once I really go into the corporate world.
Yes.
That's a lot of things that I think if I were to go into, I'd be able to fight because I have this advice from you.
Mhm.
Anyway, since you spent a lot of time in the workplace, were there any insecurities that were created or enhanced?
Of course, I'll start off first with the first one that you have mentioned. So insecurities first. So of course, when toxicity like gets into you, or you felt
Mm-hmm.
toxic in the workplace, of course, first and foremost, you will feel sad. Like why
Mm-hmm.
your work environment is like this, because sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
I still get the feeling of nung time nung high school, college, like I hope that
Mm-hmm.
it's just as easy as that feeling, when
Mm-hmm.
things are sometimes difficult because of projects, because of
Mm-hmm.
reports, but it's still very enjoyable, because you get to have friends, and then new friends, have new friends. So yung feeling na insecurities like, first, is there something wrong with me? Because
Mm.
maybe, because people, you know, we tend to blame ourselves first muna
Mm-hmm.
before we see the fault of others. That's why sometimes, di ba, we need yung confirmation of other people, like
Mm-hmm.
Eunice or Leah or XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault. It's not all about you. So yeah, so insecurities first, it when it kicks in, like, am I enough? Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
doing like good? Maybe there's something more that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, like, what should it be? And then of course, you everything, all the ideas cram in your head. So again,
Mm-hmm.
you will feel anxious and then anxiety. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
personally, like, how I feel. Because as I've told you, like, I want to share personally, like, what I am experiencing, or what I
Mm-hmm.
have experienced. So that's why, that's what I feel. So I
Mm-hmm.
question myself. I tend to question myself, my worth, and if I am still capable of being
Mm-hmm.
like a good employee or a good manager or a good team player. So everything I
Mm-hmm.
question about myself and my self-worth. And then again, the next question, Eunice, was it, what is it, like, insecurities and the other one that you have mentioned?
Insecurities that enhance. Like if you already have existing ones, did it enhance ba? Like mas lumala ba siya?
Yeah, actually, again, as what we have said, like, depends on the perspective. For me
Mm-hmm.
naman, like, I'm the type of person, yeah, of course, I feel sad, I feel down, it
Mm-hmm.
gets the best of me. But I always tell myself, I have to rise above this and
Mm-hmm.
correct myself. First, correct my what I feel by reassuring
Mm-hmm.
myself or asking again the opinion of my loved ones whom I trust.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, additional, like, sometimes only, like, I also ask, like, opinions of people I am not that close, so that it will be
Mm-hmm.
at least balanced, that I can get the best of both worlds opinion, like, people
Ah.
close to me and people not close to me, and then work around it. So
Mm-hmm.
because if I let myself be submerged on that loneliness of that toxicity that ate me up,
Mm-hmm.
and it burned me deep inside.
Mm-hmm.
So what will happen to me? What will happen to the people I love? And at the same time, what will happen,
Uh-huh.
since I still have this career ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
pa, additional. So
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't really easy. So as I've mentioned, 18 years of working, I started from scratch, like
Mm-hmm.
from the simplest clerical job to what I am
Mm-hmm.
right now. I'm managing the whole recruitment department of our company. So imagine, so if I let myself be eaten up, like, all of me, of that toxicity
Mm-hmm.
and insecurities that it had built up inside of me, what will happen? So I won't reach until this point. So again, just try to develop and find ways on how to change your perspectives, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really not that easy. So again, you have to have the help, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
bad to ask help from people,
Mm-hmm.
especially from people that you trust, because that's their role, honestly, and that's
Yeah.
our role as well to them. So vice versa. So yeah, you cannot just do it alone. It's really
Mm-hmm.
impossible. It's really impossible to do it alone. If some people can really do it alone, I don't think so that they're really alone. For sure, even
Mm-hmm.
not a physical person, maybe the help of the internet. So it's still,
Yeah.
you get what I mean. So it's not like that person just discovered everything by himself or by herself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so rise above your situation,
Mm-hmm.
and then be more positive. Positive
Mm-hmm.
is really, I know it's cliche sometimes, but you have to really be
Mm-hmm.
positive, because that's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing that will push you, to help you to rise above it
Mm-hmm.
all. Yeah.
I want to ask more about when you were saying the questions that you were asking yourself. Um, is there something wrong with me? Uh, am I not enough? I feel like that happens because when something bad happens to us, we have to find reasons why. Like maybe I
Yeah.
do deserve being treated this way, so I think that's why we start to blame ourselves to make it
Yes.
valid that we're being treated badly. But when in fact there are times that we are treated badly, but it's not because we did anything wrong, but it just
Yeah.
simply it's just the other person, it's just them, they really
Yes.
like
Yes.
do that to other people. And I don't think,
Agree.
and I think a lot of people need to understand that it's not their fault. Sometimes it's not their fault. You could be doing the best out of your job and they'll still treat you really poorly, they'll still treat you really badly. And,
True.
and it's,
True.
yeah. And it's good that
It's
you're
really,
mentioning these things.
yeah. It's really true. I cannot agree like less on what you have just
Mhm.
mentioned, because it is like as what I've told you, like over the years that I've been working,
Mhm.
never was there ever a time that like it's all rainbows and butterflies. Like at work,
Mhm.
if we're talking about
Mhm.
work, there's none like a perfect like setting.
Yeah.
So toxicity will always be there. So that's why I
Mhm.
appreciate like you like like having like this kind of talks or topics to be discussed,
Mhm.
so that at least we can some I mean for other people like to watch and learn, and at least like as what
Mhm.
you mentioned, validate like it's not only
Mhm.
me, because maybe some people are weirded out by themselves, like is it only me, because that's the
Yeah.
people we tend to yun nga na think that ako lang ba to? Is it just me? Is it my
Mhm.
fault? Mali ba ako? And then
Mhm.
if they're not that strong in handling those
Mhm.
types of like situations or circumstances, sadly like people think the other way and do something like harmful to themselves. So I
Mhm.
hope like whoever is like experiencing something like that right now, or
Mhm.
undergoing something like toxic, really toxic within their workplace, just always remember that you are not alone, and it's
Mhm.
not all about you. As what Eunice has said, maybe like it's other people's fault, or
Mhm.
it's them and it's not you. So again,
Mhm.
try to like seek like guidance, or like love, like whatever form that will like make you happy, like from your loved ones
Mhm.
talaga. That's the best.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Now, if you as somebody who has a lot of experience in the workplace, what is exactly something you would like to do to make it healthier, like to be more safe for other people so that even when they're working they can also enjoy it?
All right. Actually, I'm handling right now like around 13 people
Mhm.
like in the office. Actually, like
Mhm.
12. I'm the 13th
Mhm.
in our
Okay.
department. So I know the feeling of toxicity. I've felt that. I've experienced
Mhm.
that all throughout my work journey. So
Mhm.
I really do try. So whoever will be watching this, maybe some of my teammates or my
Mhm.
staff will be watching this. Please do remember, always remember, like I'm always trying my best, like to
Mhm.
make them feel like they're heard, and at the same time,
Mhm.
like because toxicity, as what we keep on mentioning, it depends on the perspective of people. Maybe like
Mhm.
simple like talk to them, and like sometimes my voice will be raised. They think already it's
Mhm.
toxic. So it depends. If they
Mhm.
always if they perceive it as like an ate, or like
Mhm.
elderly, because I'm elder than them, I'm older than
Mhm.
them. So if
Mhm.
they think of me as their somebody like older ate type, apart from being a
Mhm.
boss, so they will think that what she's giving as an advice to us, or the rants plus the rants plus
Mhm.
the rants that she's like expressing, it will help us to be the best version of ourselves, especially at
Mhm.
work. Because I always share to my teammates, always remember, I was in your shoes. I might not be
Mhm.
like exactly the 100% as what you are
Mhm.
feeling right now, but for sure I bet I was in your situation. So
Mhm.
let me help you by helping you by number one, telling you that nothing is wrong. We can
Mhm.
always improve the process,
Mhm.
because when you say already that something is wrong, and that person knows that there is something wrong, you will just
Mhm.
like add up to the anxiety of that
Mhm.
person, and nothing will be
Mhm.
resolved. So just tell the person
Uh-huh.
that I understand. Whatever happens, like we can always improve the process. And when we
Mhm.
improve the process, whatever bad that happened previously or that moment, improving the process will, of course, help them alleviate, the feeling that, oh, next time, because of improving the process, we won't be, or hopefully we won't be on the same situation again. because we have improved the process. So that's what I always instill on them. Be more open,
Mhm.
because so that I can
Mhm.
understand you better, because
Mhm.
communication is the key, Eunice. I
Yeah.
always tell the team that we should communicate, and not just communicate, we should communicate effectively. It shouldn't be one
Yes.
way. So communication, of course,
Mhm.
it's two way. So if I just do the
Yeah.
talking and you don't give your inputs or what you feel, how will we be able to come up or
Mm.
meet in between and then come up with a good solution to
Mhm.
improve the process or improve
Mhm.
the output. So that's it. So my take on that is, be a team player. Be a team player,
Mhm.
and at the same time reassure your team members that you are in with them, that you are in
Mhm.
with them and you are not out and just like a
Mhm.
bystander, like waiting for things
Mhm.
to happen. So you are in with them. So reassurance, assuring them that you are part of them. So
Mhm.
I think that helps at least like remove or lessen or make it like smaller, that toxicity of what they feel
Mhm.
within the workplace.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
so you're saying because toxicity will always happen, it's just better to
Yes.
like focus on how to deal with it with them because we can never
Yes.
really truly like take it away.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the things that you mentioned, like effective communication, when I was in my classes as well, that's something my professors also said that it's not just about communicating, it's also about
Yes.
it being effective because you could say
Yes.
the message, but they won't get the message. And it's
True.
good that you're doing this, that you're trying your best. You're
Yes.
something you also mentioned is that you're more focused on the solutions rather than the
Yes.
problem. You're
Yes.
not telling them like because I've heard like a lot of like bosses or a lot of stories that I've heard
Mhm.
is that they're just so focused on the problem, focused on making them see that there's a problem when in fact it's better to like you've been saying is to move on. Okay,
Yes.
so here's the problem, so let's move on and find a solution. And what I do like is that you mentioned you have to be a team player. Just because
Yes.
you're technically the boss in a sense,
Mhm.
you're not saying that I'm better than you, we're all in this together, we're all trying to do things. And it's I'm really happy that you're really doing that because I definitely believe that would make a difference in their work life as well. So I think I don't know for them, but I if I were under you, I feel like I would be blessed to have a boss that's, understanding that toxicity is very relevant. Anyway.
Yeah, I hope they get the chance to watch this. I'll be promoting this, and then I'll encourage them to leave a comment. Even anonymous, and say like, Leah is saying BS. No, no, no. No, Leah is like, hopefully like Leah is telling the truth or something like that. But nonetheless,
Okay.
Eunice, as what I have promised, I'll promote this, of course. And hopefully my
Okay.
team will get to see this. Hopefully.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully. And I hope it helps them as well. Maybe they
Yeah.
will start being more vocal to you because of it.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, they
Yeah.
are. They are. I
That's
for the
good.
past 2 years that I've been with this company, like from the first time that I've met the team, this was
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I always tell them or mention to them: open and effective communication. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
won't open yourself, how will the other person like really understand? Because
Mm-hmm.
the other person cannot just guess. I cannot make hula
Yeah.
every time like okay, this
Mm-hmm.
person is like feeling down, and maybe that person is
Mm-hmm.
just like, like that for a moment. Maybe that person just like just saw something like sad on Facebook. That's why when I
Mm-hmm.
saw that person, malungkot siya. So maybe hindi
Mm-hmm.
naman talaga malungkot. So effectively, you have to, like open up naman so that the other person will really understand if there is really a
Yeah.
problem, or if you feel toxic. That's why you need, if I may add, I also encourage within my team members, during the day, most of the time, in a week's time, we always get
Mm-hmm.
together inside the office lang naman, and we get to share very humble, simple foods like ice cream, cake,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever
Mm-hmm.
food, pancit canton, even pancit canton. They're very
Mm-hmm.
resourceful. My team, they cook in a rice cooker, cook
Mm-hmm.
pancit canton, boiled egg, and then just share, like sharing, and at the same time being together just for a quick 15-20 minutes. I let them breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It's really toxic,
Mm-hmm.
within the day, like it's very monotonous yun ang ginagawa
Mm-hmm.
same lang ng same. Do call outs, do interviews, assess
Mm-hmm.
assess applicants, and
Mm-hmm.
asikasuhin yung mga requirements, and then again repeat. So ganun
Mm-hmm.
eh. So at least by sharing, like humble food, as what I have mentioned. So simple
Mhm.
laughter, simple joy. At least I know 100% I might not like take everything away, like the toxic thing. Because
Mhm.
even if it's not from
Mhm.
me, remember, when you are
Mhm.
in a company, you're not like
Mhm.
one department alone. So you
Yeah.
work with other departments. So even if it's not
Mhm.
toxic inside your department, for sure, definitely there will be other people in other
Mhm.
departments who will cause, like that toxicity or toxic feeling within your
Yeah.
department as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of making me scared, but I mean, but
Don't
yeah,
be
that's
scared.
that.
It's nice. It's still a
Yeah.
nice feeling though,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
like I always would want to encourage, like people, because some people, like especially millennials, your
Uh
perception,
huh.
most of the perception of the millennials, I'll just do business. I will not work.
Uh,
But still, like if you will ask me, I will still would like to encourage, like young people, like
have
to try and
experience.
explore. Yeah, it's still different if you will have that corporate experience or work experience.
Mhm.
It's really different. And then later on, if you feel that it's not for you, and then venture on something else. But then again, at least try like
Mhm.
1 2 years. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, some people they say like it's not for me. It's just for business. It's just
Uh-huh.
toxic lang eh. So work maybe toxic and
Uh-uh.
ayoko ng toxic. But how will you know if you won't try? And how will you
Yeah.
should be a bearer of change? Then naman dun sa
Mm-mm.
company na yon. So if it's really toxic and then you're the bearer of change sa environment or setting doon, and you are a change champion. So, di ba? Good for
Uh,
you. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I like that. Like if the place is toxic, then you could be the yeah, you could change it. Yes. Um
True.
so you actually mentioned this, but I would like to talk more about it. So is it possible to stay healthy in a toxic environment?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy because if you change those negative
Mm-hmm.
things into positive
Mm-hmm.
ones, then of course it will benefit you. So like what
Mm-hmm.
I have said nga, di ba, paulit-ulit na nandun lang talaga siya eh. Toxicity, toxic, negativity, it's just
Mm-hmm.
there. Wherever we go, even if you just ride a jeepney, the tricycle, yung
Uh-huh.
mainis ka lang
Mm-hmm.
kay manong tricycle driver, for example lang because he's
Mm-hmm.
rude or he's not
Mm-hmm.
listening kung saan ka pupunta, negative na agad eh. So it's
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. But it's just how we deal with it and how we yun nga eh, perceive things eh. And then when we take it as positive out of that negative, out of that toxic situation, out of that toxic things that we encounter, it will help us definitely grow. You grow,
Mm-hmm.
especially sometimes like it also helps you grow in faith. Like why? When
Mm-hmm.
everything fails already, anong sinasabi natin? God will not leave us. God is our
Uh-huh.
like soul entity na nakakaintindi
Mm-hmm.
sa atin. So, like it's healthy because your faith
Mm-hmm.
is also
Uh-huh.
tested. Like
Yeah.
when you feel like you don't trust anybody anymore and you feel that you're on the edge already and
Mm-hmm.
like everybody you feel like they tends to push you already
Mm-hmm.
off the wall. So, ayan eh. This also like tests our faith also. Like, like
Yeah.
yeah, maybe hindi na ako, maybe hindi na others, maybe it's my relationship with God. So, yun, it helps
Mm-hmm.
us to be healthy emotionally, mentally, and at the same time, spiritually then. So, again,
Mm-hmm.
it's how that person or people will, like see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, for me, it will
It
still
is.
help me to be healthy. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you put it that way, it makes me excited as well. You know, when you were saying
Yes.
certain things, it made me like, you know what? It sounds like an adventure, and it's true.
Yes.
Like, there's toxicity everywhere. It could just be within ourselves, within family, within friends, even when you
Yeah.
just go on social media. So it's really not avoidable.
True.
So all you can really do is learn how to battle it, learn how to deal with it.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
my last question is, what is the tip or advice you can give to those who are currently experiencing this toxicity and they just feel so overwhelmed by it?
All right. What is the best advice I could give you? If you have a vacation leave, because for sure, all employees, we have vacation leave or even sick
Mm-hmm.
leave that you can use. If you would ask me, go on a vacation, go somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else, or even if, for example, not somewhere else because it's ECQ, stay at home. Watch your favorite show, talk on the
Mm-hmm.
phone, chat with your friends, with your family, or whoever that you want. Eat eat nice food, order from
Mm-hmm.
Grab, order from restaurants that you like. Because at the end of the day, if it will consume you, and then at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, that workspace, that small space or desk that you are in from Mondays to Friday, for example, if that's your schedule, if it's
Mm-hmm.
too much already and it's like already above you, so learn to breathe by
Mm-hmm.
using your employee benefits, which is
Mm-hmm.
take a leave anyway. It's paid.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't go abroad, go somewhere else, again, because of the
Mm-hmm.
situation we are in, because it's ECQ, for example, Eunice, it's
Mm-hmm.
ECQ here in NCR.
Mm-hmm.
So just file like 2 3 days, depends
Mm-hmm.
on your output, of course, at work, because
Mm-hmm.
your leave will also depend on your output, because your boss for sure will ask you, like, are you done, or how will you take
Uh-huh.
care of your pending things again. So
Mm-hmm.
like, manage it, and then at the same time, apply for leave, enjoy even at home,
Mm-hmm.
cook nice food, order. That's it. It's
Mm-hmm.
those simple joys that you will learn
Mm-hmm.
to appreciate bigger things. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
see happiness as grandiose or
Mm-hmm.
bigger things, like buying expensive stuffs that you are not
Mm-hmm.
capable of, like going to France, and you are
Mm-hmm.
not capable of, maybe not by money, but because of,
Mm-hmm.
like, we are bounded because of the situation of the airports,
Mm-hmm.
we cannot travel. So your happiness is not just on those big things. Learn to
Mm-hmm.
appreciate like small things, and then from there
Uh-huh.
you can learn, of course, how to breathe. Because if you breathe and at the same time appreciate small things, then of course bigger things, it will just come eventually your way. And of course
Mm-hmm.
it will at least like help you, like like screen or shut
Mm-hmm.
those toxicity and negativity that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that because I feel like a lot of people neglect to actually take a break because they feel like
Yes.
they have to keep working, that they really need to do that. And it's good that you're like emphasizing that they do deserve and they should take the break, and that to keep things separate, which was something that as I was listening to you, is that you were really making it separated, like separate your
Yeah.
work life from your personal life. And I think there are some people who have a hard time doing that. Sometimes they just make their work life their entire being. That
Yes.
even on the days that they're supposed to like rest, even on weekends, or even when after like there's the term like they bring
Yeah.
homework although they're
Yeah.
not supposed to. And I think they should learn that work will always be there, but they have
Yes.
to rest. They have to take the
Yes.
time to rest. Yeah.
They have they
Anyway.
should have the time for themselves. Like
Mhm.
quality time. Doesn't matter like
Mhm.
how it is, but depends on that person, the definition of
Mhm.
quality. From simple things to big things, depends on that
Yeah.
person. Learn to breathe and
Uh-huh.
learn to
Yeah.
appreciate, like life is good, life is beautiful. So, like it's not just about work. Work is work.
Mhm.
Like if you're competent enough, if you believe in yourself, and at the same time you know your capabilities, that particular work or company will not be the end of you. There are a lot of
Mhm.
companies who are willing to accept you, and hopefully, like remove you from that toxic environment. Because as I've said,
Mhm.
to be fair, it's not all companies naman na like that. Just depends lang
Mhm.
talaga on like you're lucky enough if you have really like
Mhm.
very understanding and very matured colleagues whose focus is
Mhm.
like to work and not to gossip and not to like harbor toxicity and
Mhm.
negativity. So if you found that, or if you're in that situation, salute. That's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great. Anyway, thank you also for your time because you are a busy person. So I really appreciate that you gave your time today. And
Of
so
course.
we're actually already done. Is there anything you want to plug? Do you want to plug your social media or anything like that? Is there anything you want to share?
No, no, man. It's really a pleasure, Eunice, like, like having me on your show or YouTube
Mm-hmm.
channel, and getting
Uh-huh.
to, like share my experiences and my
Mm-hmm.
opinions about toxicity at work. So, if there will be other topics in the future, please feel free to let me know. I will
Uh,
gladly be and be generous to give you my
mm-hmm.
time, because
Mm-hmm.
you're very important to me, and at the same time you're doing really good. And this is something
uh,
that you've started already, that I can see that you're really good at. So something that you're really good at and you're improving yourself more by constantly doing this. So hindi ka tumitigil
Mhm.
na gawin to, which is
Mhm.
very good talaga. So kung may po-promote ako, promote ko yung channel mo. So guys, please do like, share, and subscribe Eunice's channel, and please
Mhm.
promote her YouTube channel because it's very insightful and helpful as well for everybody, because there's toxicity home, friends, school, and workplace. So yeah,
Mhm.
if she has other topics more in the future, please stand by, and marami pa yan magagawa si Eunice. And si
Wow.
Gabe, ang kanyang editor.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Thank you, Ate. Bye.
Welcome! Bye!
Thank you for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Make sure to check out my socials, my friend's socials, and Toxic Talk socials in the description below. Once again, I encourage you to ask questions that will be answered on that 19th episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you are notified when the next episode goes up. As you wait, you can check out all my YouTube videos on my channel. Take care always and stay safe. Bye!